Hi, I'm Rachel Gray. Welcome to my cooking channel. I love bread and I love a good roll with dinner. So today I'm going to show you how to make Butterhorn Rolls. I've tried a lot of different kinds of dinner rolls, but the recipe that I love the most and the one that I make the most is Butterhorn Rolls. My mom made them, my grandma made them. They're just home to me. And because I love them so much, I'll share them with you today. Let's go over the ingredients we'll need to make the Butterhorn Rolls. We'll need 1 cup of water, 1 package of dry yeast or 2 1/4 teaspoons. We'll need 1/2 of a cup plus 1 tablespoon of sugar, 4 cups of flour, 3 eggs, 2 sticks of butter, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Let me show you how to put this together. The first thing I want to do is combine 1 cup of warm water, which is 105 to 110 degrees, with my package of dry yeast. And then we want to feed it, and I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar. And then I'm going to whisk that together and set that aside for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, our yeast is bubbly and active. The next thing I'm going to do is add 1 cup of flour to our yeast. And then I'm just going to whisk that in. And now I'm going to let this mixture sit for 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, the mixture will look like this. And now we're ready to put all the other ingredients together. I'm going to put my rolls together in my KitchenAid, and I'm going to use both my paddle and my dough hook attachment. So I'm going to start with my paddle, and then I'm just going to put the ingredients in. The stick of butter I just went ahead and melted, and I melted in the microwave in the paper, and then I just take the paper off, throw that away, and then put my melted butter in. I'm going to add a little bit of my flour in and my salt, and then I'm just going to stir that together. Then I'm going to add a little bit more flour. After 3 cups of additional flour, it looks like this. This isn't quite what I'm looking for, so I'm going to need to add a little bit more flour. I'm going to scrape the dough off of my paddle attachment. Then I'm going to remove the paddle attachment, and I'm going to put on the dough hook. I'm going to scrape the dough away from the sides of the bowl, and then I'm going to add a little bit more flour, just maybe 1/4 to 1/2 cup at a time. And then I'm just gonna mix that together. Now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the dough to come away from the sides of my KitchenAid, but stick a little to the bottom. So after my first addition of additional flour, you can see that it is still sticking to the sides and it's still not forming a mass. So I'm gonna add some more flour. Probably about 1/2 cup again. Turn it on slow so the flour doesn't go flying everywhere. Once I've got the dough enough flour, you can see it's still stuck a little to the bottom and that the sides are basically clean. When I touch the dough, it's soft, but it's no longer sticky, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm just going to take it off of the hook. I'm just going to take a little bit of softened butter and I'm just going to rub it on the sides of the bowl. And then I'm just going to lift this up, scrape it off the bottom, lift it up, butter the bottom. And then I'll just turn it. That way the sides are buttered and the dough is buttered. Then I'm just going to take this bowl off of my KitchenAid. Then I'm just going to cover it with a towel and let it raise until doubled. That usually takes about 2 hours. After 2 hours, the dough is nice and puffy, it's risen, and now we're ready to roll it out. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on my work surface. And then I'm just going to spill it out. And I just take it and I kind of just give it a little deflate. I'm going to flip it over. Kind of shape it into the square. And then I'm just going to roll my dough out. I try to roll the dough out as square as possible, and I try not to roll it out too thin. This is just a little less than a ½ inch thick. Then I just take a pizza cutter and I just cut straight down and divide it into halves. Then I want to cut across, and I want to do these probably about an inch wide. I want them to be fat. I just keep telling myself, make them fat, because I like a nice fluffy roll. I'm going to put them on a silicone lined cookie sheet. I dip them in butter, and I just go ahead and melt the butter in a little pie plate, like I said, in the microwave with the paper on, and then I just throw the paper away. And I do these in a knot. That's just the way that my family does them, and that's the way I do them. So I just kind of turn them like that. And then I'll put them on the cookie sheet. Once I have the rolls rolled out and shaped, I can do one of two things with them. I can either freeze them right now, or I can let them raise for 45 minutes to an hour and then bake them. As long as they're not touching, I can go ahead and put them in the freezer just like this on this baking sheet with the Silpat. And then once they're frozen, I can just peel them right off the Silpat and put them in a bag. And they are good in the freezer for about 2 weeks. After that, the yeast kind of doesn't work anymore and they won't rise as well. And then you just take them out at your convenience, let them thaw and raise, which takes about 4 to 5 hours, and then you bake them. And the other thing I can do is what I'm going to do right now, which is just let them raise now and bake them. So I'll take my clean kitchen towel and cover them and let them raise in a warm environment for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. It's been 45 minutes and the rolls are puffed and risen and ready to bake. So I'm going to bake them in a 375-degree oven for 12 to 15 minutes until they're golden brown. And that's my go-to dinner roll recipe. They're big and they're fluffy. This recipe makes about 2 dozen, the way that I cut them. But if you wanted them to make more, you just roll it a little bit thinner and cut them a little closer together and make a little bit of a smaller roll. But I like them big and fluffy. And because I dip them with butter beforehand, you don't even really need to use butter with them. You can find this recipe and over 200 other recipes on my blog, cookingwithrachel101.com. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Subscribing is free, and if you want to be notified every time I post a new video, hit the bell. Yes.
And cut.
I could see you right there.